Boom, 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 Chanka. How's it going, everybody? It's the Flying Pig here on Flying Pig United with another little match preview for you. It's been a little while, hasn't it? But a match preview for the Manchester United game tomorrow night against Tottenham Hotspur at Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. What a crap name for a football stadium, by the way. Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. Original. Anyway, I hope you're all doing well. Thank you very much for joining me tonight, and I hope this is reaching you in good health and good spirits. I'm looking forward to the game tomorrow, where we come up against Jose Mourinho once again. Hopefully, it's going to be another case of the fixture earlier on in the season, where by the end of the game, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is patting him on his little Portuguese head, and that would be very nice if that's the case, and obviously that means we'll get the victory. But I'm looking forward to it. I'm sure you guys are. We're going to go into it a little bit in tonight's video and just talk about some of the key points in the build up to the game. So stick around. Thank you to everybody that's joining me already that's in here. I can see there's a bunch of you legends in here. Let's have a look. Neil Duffin, mate. How you doing, Neil? Shout out to you, pal. Hope you're all good. What's this about? I saw something, you had some sort of a lightning strike near you. Anyway, I hope you're all good and I hope they're all okay, my friend. Griffo, Chaz, Aaron Homeyard's in the house as well. Jack and Brad Gaming, Ice Queen Gaming, The Saint, TK, James Price, Clam J, Connor Watt. There's a bunch of you. So thank you to everybody that's joining me tonight for the preview. And get your thoughts and opinions in as we go along about anything that we talk about. Also, I don't know what's going on with my little scrolling ticker thing down at the bottom here, but it's gone ridiculously slow, man. Like, it's having a mess. It's literally the David Luiz of scrolling tickers right now. Do you know what I mean? Like, what was that all about last night, though, guys? Come on. Wasn't that just a complete melt job? You'd have expected somebody to have bunged him a few million before that game or something. That sort of performance that he's put out. You know, smiling before he's coming on there. That famous picture of him just, like, loving it. He's ready to come on. It's a big game. All eyes are on that game as well. It's the first big game, you know, back in the evening there after lockdown. Everybody's watching that game. He comes on and he just wreaks the havoc that you would expect him to wreak, to be fair. Because, in all honesty, he does actually wreak. In terms of being a footballer, he's not very good, is he? He is, actually, but I just don't think he's a good sort of defensive player, which is what he sort of been labelled as over the years, you know? Maybe he should be like a marauding sort of centre forward or something, like a sort of like a Brazilian Fellaini or something up there. But you know, he was shy anyway. It was legendary, though. It was legendary. That will live on in the memories for a very, very long time. But yes, please do us a favour if you're tuning in right now, everyone. Like KMR Lee, Joshua Whitfield, Mark and Joe Gaming, and everybody else that's tuning in, smack us a thumbs up on this video if you can. It definitely helps out. And subscribe if you happen to be new to the channel. But yeah, where do we begin with this one then? So like I say, in the fixture earlier on in the season, we battered Spurs. We got the better of them anyway. Jose's head was patted by Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. If you look at the build-up of the teams going into this, obviously sort of form goes out the window because there's been nearly 100 days of no football for both sides. And we don't really know who's really in a good run of form right now because there isn't any form to speak of. You can talk about the 5 games in the league before lockdown, but I mean, it's a long time ago, you know. Lots has happened since then. So, but to be honest, it's a factor, and going into this game, United are in better form than Tottenham. Man United's form, I think, is like 3 wins and a couple of draws in the last 5 league games before lockdown, and Spurs is literally 2 wins, 2 losses, and a draw. I mean, let's be honest now. Okay, so I just think we're going to batter up Spurs tomorrow, I do. So I'm getting a bit carried away here, but I just feel like we're going to do Jose Mourinho's Tottenham again. They've been bang average under Jose, to be fair. They were bang average under Poch at the start of the season, sure. But I think they were just a little bit haphazard and a little bit, eager to get rid of Poch there, and they should have maybe stuck with him because I don't think Jose's necessarily going to be the man. The guy's a football dinosaur, everybody. Call him bloody Barney, you know? Because he is pretty, you know, it's been a while since he's really convinced me that he's a top-level manager anymore. The style of football's not very good. It's kind of defensive. Sure, at Tottenham, maybe that will change. They've got amazing attacking talents, after all. Players like Harry Kane, Son Heung-min, who are both back, by the way, for the game from injury, which sucks. But, you know, I just don't know if he's got the ability to do it anymore. That's my honest, humble opinion. Sure, he actually won some trophies at United when he was here, and the first season, you can't argue with what he did. The second season, you can't really argue with what he did either. He finished second, behind a very good team, And with the squad that he had, that probably was an achievement. But, it's been a long while since I've seen anything really amazing from Jose Mourinho. The special one, he is not anymore, I don't think. I think that's what we should call him now. The special one, but not anymore. Because he's just playing average now, isn't he? Big D, how you doing as well? He says, yeah, Jose is finished, can't adapt to the modern game. You kind of see that with football managers sometimes, and maybe there's other factors as well, like teams and players. Like, for instance, if you got the Real Madrid job when they had Cristiano Ronaldo at his absolute peak, and players, Sergio Ramos and these guys, it's going to make your life a little bit easier, isn't it? Especially if you're playing in a league where there's only one or two other real challenging sides. But still, though, he did obviously amazing things over there. You can't argue with what he did at Inter, Porto, Chelsea. He's done some amazing things. Let's not discount and discredit the career of Jose Mourinho, because he's actually one of the best managers to ever manage in the game. If you look at his stats and if you look at his trophies and his different achievements in different leagues and different nations, he's right up there. He's right up there. Certainly over the last 20 years, he's in the top 3, isn't he? Jose Mourinho as successful manager. So fair play to the guy. But like we were talking about, things do change, and adaptability is an important thing. That's what Sir Alex Ferguson was so good at, I think, latterly in his career. Rebuilding teams. Obviously, he stayed at the same side, which is different. Jose moves around, hops around, which in some ways is obviously more challenging because you're coming in, fresh environment every time you've got to build. So it is a different situation. But I just think he's not the best at managing in the league anymore. There's managers like Klopp, progressive attacking, managers like Pep Guardiola. He's just not the best in the league at the moment. Spurs are not the best in the league at the moment. They're struggling. Look at their form under Jose Mourinho. They've had a shithouse time. They've conceded a load of goals. They've been ropey as you like at the back, which is a big worry, because Jose Mourinho's teams have always been about being built on a real solid defence and great counter-attacks. Not always. He scored a record number of goals with that Real Madrid side, as I said. Again, Cristiano Ronaldo in his peak has something to do with that. But, he's a good manager still. Of course he is. He's not just going to turn into a useless manager overnight, but he still isn't the sort of manager that has adapted well to the modern Premier League game over the last few years anyway. His style's defensive, his style's boring, and if your style's defensive and boring and you're leaking goals, crikey, you're in for a shithouse time. And I just think Spurs fans, sorry, I know there's probably not that many of you who in here who are Spurs fans, but I just think Spurs fans, you're in for a tough time with Jose Mourinho. You might win a Mickey Mouse Cup somewhere along the line. You might get a cheeky little League Cup, or I don't know. But I don't see you winning anything major. That's just my humble opinion. And even if he does, it's going to be a short-term thing. He's probably going to leave Spurs in a position that they were worse off than when he began. So we'll see. We'll see what happens with the game tomorrow, and can Ole Gunnar Solskjaer get the better of Jose? The reason I'm just slating Jose is because come on, United. We've got to batter up Spurs tomorrow. Let's not do a bloody Arsenal. You know what I mean? Like yesterday, 100 days of no football, coming back to that. Oh my days, the Gooners. I feel bad for you. But I don't want that to be us tomorrow. I really don't, because I've been so looking forward to this game. And look, I can even handle a draw or something. Away at Tottenham, if it's a good game, good displays, both sides. Let's face it, Spurs are a good team. Jose's a defensive manager. Who knows how it's going to be set up? Maybe they'll get right at us, but I hope it's a good game. But as long as we give a good account of ourselves and the players perform, that's all that we can really ask for in a game like that, coming back after this time. Because like I say, form kind of goes out the window. Match sharpness, match fitness, that's all lacking. So it's all up in the air, like what could happen here. You flip a coin, really. But I still think we're going to batter them up. What do you guys think? What's your prediction for the game then? So I think I'm going to go for 2-1 to Manchester United. I think they will score because they have got great firepower. I think it's going to be a tentative game of football. I don't think it's going to be an attacking, free-flowing, end-to-end game of football. I think it will be a classic Jose Mourinho job. And I think it will maybe be a classic Ole Gunnar Solskjaer defensive job as well. I don't think they're going to say at home, look, we're going to take the game to sorry, I don't think they're going to say at home, let them come on to us as Spurs. I think what they're going to do is have to take the game more and have the impetus to go forward and attack. So what is Ole Gunnar Solskjaer going to do? What have we had a lot of joy with? I think he's going to play the 5-3-2, and I think he's going to play a defensive style, sit back, soak him up, spit it out, get the ball to Bruno, get the ball to the attacking forwards who have got pace up there, and rip them open on the counter-attack when we get the opportunities. That's how I see it playing out. But hopefully I'm wrong in a way. Hopefully we go with a more attacking formation. There's lots of talk about a 4-3-3, maybe accommodating Pogba, 4-2-3-1, and go in there and trying to sort of match them and take the game to them. But I don't think that's actually in our best interest to get the result here. If you look at how we've performed in some of the earlier fixtures in the season, I know it's been a while ago, but Ole Gunnar Solskjaer has actually done really well against the big managers, the Pep Guardiolas, the Jose, the big teams. He even one of the only teams to take some points off of Liverpool, which I don't want to give them any praise, but they are a great team right now, and he did a good job in that game, just nullifying them basically to get the point. So he's shown some good acumen when it comes to dealing with the big managers, dealing with the big sides, setting us up. Okay, maybe you could argue negatively, but defensively to go and get a job done. And that's the sort of situation I think it's going to be tomorrow. But what do you guys think about it? Do you agree with me, or do you think we're going to go for it? What do you think the result's going to be? So let's see what you guys think then. Ali Hussein, how you doing, Ali Hussein? He says 2-1 to United. He agrees with me. Good man. Dean Flynn says high pick 4-1 to United. Mate, I would love it, Dean Flynn, if we just went and absolutely ripped them open 4-1 tomorrow. Wouldn't that be an amazing start back to the Premier League campaign for Manchester United if we just go to Tottenham Hotspur Stadium and lay down a massive steamer right on the pitch there for them? Lay down 4. That would be sensational. Ice Queen Gaming says, hey, Batman. Oh, sorry. Neil Duffin says 3-0 to United. Great shout. Ryan Burbspin, 3-0 as well. So you two think that it's going to be the same scoreline as Manchester City versus Arsenal's yesterday. Well, that would be awesome if we could get the 3-0 win over United, over shithousers. Hey Dero official, how you doing, Hey Dero? Good to see you in here, pal. He thinks it's going to be 2-2. Yeah, I mean, look, it's going to be a tough game, everybody. Jose is a good manager. Say what you want about him. I know I've just been slagging him and saying he has been left behind a little bit in terms of Premier League style and management these days, and not shown great adaptability over the last few years by his very high standards. But yes, I just think they've got the ability to do it. They're a really good team. If you look at their players, I mean, still their players in terms of their first team, their starting 11 is arguably better than Manchester United's. It actually is. Players like Harry Kane's one of the best strikers in the world. Now, United have actually got some good firepower up top now. We've got Igalo on loan. We've still got Greenwood. And, of course, we've got Martial, Rashford, who can play there. So we've got some firepower up there. But Martial's got like 11 goals, I think, this season. Harry Kane's proven over a course of a number of seasons that he's a top striker. And he's just a proven centre forward. Now, this is the first sort of season for Martial at number 9. But the point I'm making is they've got top quality players throughout the team. Their defence is good. They've got players that have come back from a long-term injury out. I mean, let's just talk about the injury situations right now. So Manchester United don't really have any injury problems or situation to speak of anymore, which is great. Unfortunately, neither do Spurs. I think they've only got Troy Parrott out. Phil Jones is the only player that might be out. I think he's been hanging out with JP a little bit too much. I don't know. But Phil Jones might be in doubt for the game. Oh, that's a big loss. But Phil Jones, everyone, everybody else should be fit. So it's going to be interesting to see the sort of selection that Ole Gunnar Solskjaer goes with. Bear in mind, all of these players are now fit. And bear in mind, he's got some conundrums throughout the side. Now, some of the positions pick themselves, of course. David De Gea in goal, Aaron Wan-Bissaka at right back. Basically, the back line, apart from maybe the left back position, you could really argue about. Maybe one of the centre backs ended off some Melter, But you can just picture the back line pretty much. The rest of it, the midfield, is kind of in doubt. Like, what's going to happen with the midfield? We don't even know what formation we're going to go with. But let's just say it's a 4-2-3-1. I don't think it will be, but let's just say it's a 4-2-3-1. Who would be the two holding midfielders in that side? Now, I would argue that the best thing to do right now is go with what was working before the lockdown, which would be Fred and Matic, Frankenstein's monster himself. Give him 10,000 volts of electricity up the jacksie before the game, charge him up, and just unleash him in there. he actually did really well for a couple of months before lockdown, didn't he, Nemanja Matic? You know, it's like somebody did give him an electric jolt beforehand, because he came alive when he came into the side. Now, he came to the side. Fred, of course, established that partnership with him and looked fantastic and was really improving and looking great and buzzing around mercilessly throughout the entire bloody couple of months before lockdown for Manchester United in that midfield. It was sensational from Fred. Really great couple of performances that he put in before the season stopped as well. They put in a sensational partnership together, to be fair, over that couple of months. Now, was it out of necessity? Arguably so. Was it the best partnership we've seen this season for United? Yes, because I think Pogba and McTominay earlier on in the season was a little bit ropey, to be fair. That's just my personal opinion. Now, we do have Bruno now, who gives them a focal point, who gives them an outlet, and makes things easier, of course, when you can give the ball to him and he can go and do things with it. But you know what? I know this is a proper, I don't know, it just feels like I'm David Moyes or something saying this right now, because you've got Pogba, you've got McTominay, who's a stunning player as well. McTerminator scored that goal, obviously coming on the pitch from a long injury out against Manchester City before lockdown, that stunner at the end. And I love McTominay, but I sound like David Moyes that I'm going to pick Matic and Fred over Pogba and McTominay. But that's what I would do. Now, I don't think that's what's going to happen, because I'm just going with what worked beforehand. And hear me out a little bit more on this one. It's not just the fact that Bruno's so damn good at attacking that allowed him to do that in the 6 games that we saw from him before lockdown. What actually happened is we've got a defensive solid base to build on, and that was definitely helping. So I think that that's the fact that those two were solid for us. Simple as that. They were solid. Fred and Matic doing the business. They were solid. But I don't think that's what's going to happen, because I think a lot of people are crying out to see Paul Pogba go in there, aren't they? Everybody's talking about it. Bruno Fernandes, Paul Pogba, can they play together? Let's get onto this then, lads and lasses. I want to know what you guys think. Eric Sean says, Fred and Pogba, we need to go at Spurs from the start. Their backline isn't that good. Yes, very good point. Fair enough. Yeah, I mean, they have got some decent players in there, but you're right. I mean, they've conceded a lot of goals under Jose Mourinho and generally this season, so they're having a bit of a nightmare. They're there to be had at the end of the day. And the thing I like about United, we've got so much danger up front. Danger, Will Robinson. There's so much up there, even from little Danny James. Just the pace on the counter to get the ball forward in a scything fashion is unbelievable from Dan James. What about Rashford? Oh my days, Rashford. Let's talk about Rashford coming back into it. Out injured. Got 14 goals, I think it was, in the league for United in about 22 performances before he got injured this season. That's pretty damn good stats, man. That's like on course for 25 for the season, which is brilliant, and especially when most of that's played out in a wide position. More than Anthony Martial, I might add, playing at the number 9 role. So I think he's done a brilliant job, Marcus Rashford, this season. I think Solskjaer deserves a lot of credit with generally how he's improved a lot of these players. People like Matic, people like Fred, Rashford, they've all come on leaps and bounds in the last few months under Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. So this season, so he deserves a heck of a lot of credit for that. But yeah, Marcus Rashford, apart from him just being an absolute hero and a gem of the nation, and should be on the bloody New Year's honours list, but this man is literally doing all sorts of bits out there on the pitch too. You know, not just Billy Bits out there in Parliament, but Billy Bits out there on the pitch too. So fair play to Rashford. He's got to be playing in this game. Cannot wait to see the man. What a hero. Not just from a United point of view, but just as a person. Just want to talk about Rashford for a second, actually, because that guy is a bloody inspiration, man. Seriously, what a nice lad. You know, it gives me faith in the nation that there's still the youth of today being produced like Marcus Rashford, who seem to be really down to earth, seem to use their position for good, and generally have a positive influence in society. Top man, Marcus Rashford. But yeah. So let's talk about the rest of the team then. You know, you could have Bruno Fernandes in front of them. Obviously, he's got to go in there. There's a bit of debate. Maybe Pogba could play there, but nah. Bruno Fernandes is going to play that CAM role. I'm just going to get the teams up, actually, guys. Hey, look who it is. It's Gungshi in the house. How you doing, Gungshi? He says Rashi is going to score. I feel it in my loins. I've got the same feeling, Gungshi. That sounded wrong. But what I'm suggesting is that Rashford and Bruno probably get the goals. Maybe Martial too. I think those three are going to be influential in the game. Josh Healy says, Pig, maybe Dan James should be on the bench because everyone will be rusty. Maybe in the last 30 minutes when everyone is tired, if he can come on and hurt Spurs with his pace. Fair play to you. Yeah, interesting points. Batman Knight fan says, play Rashford left, Bruno behind Martial, Fred and Pogba midfield, right, James? Sounds nice, my friend. I've got a couple of tactics to show you guys in a moment, actually, which I think Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is going to go with. Just my opinion, though, just a prediction of the lineup, which I will show you shortly. And Alex to Rinconator's in here. How you doing, Rincon? It's great to see you, pal. He says, I think we are going to win. Mourinho will sit back and counter and let us have the ball. Teams have done that and had success, but this time we have Bruno, Rashford and Pogba. If they sit back, we win. I like your input there, Alex. It's an interesting point you make, yeah. I mean, will they just sit back and proper defend at home against United? Most of the time, I'd say teams wouldn't do that, but because it's Jose Mourinho's side, there's a good chance of that happening. But I kind of think Solskjaer's going to do the same sort of thing. I think it's going to be a shit game. I'm going to say that now. The players are coming back. They're not match sharp. It's been a while. Both managers are desperate not to lose. I think it's going to be a shit game. But there you go. I'm still going with the 2-1 to Manchester United. But yeah, you might be right because, look, Jose's a defensive manager. He knows the attacking threats we've got on the counter. Is he going to want his Spurs side, no matter how good they are attacking, surging forward and getting at our defence, maybe leaving themselves a little bit stretched to the back to allow us to counter with the pace, with the players we've got up there, you know, whether it's James, Rashford, Martial, Bruno, they're all tremendous on the counter-attack. So I'm sure Jose Mourinho would be very wary of that. And yeah, you never know. I think, you know, it's so interesting to see what's going to happen. But good point there, Alex Rincon. Great to see you too. Matty the Rushmeister. He says Tottenham slow back four. James, Martial, Rashford, way too much pace. Yeah, I do think we're going to get at them. I do hope that they come at us a little bit, and I do hope that we can hurt them on the counter. I think that's where we're going to have our most joy. But Rincon made a great point. We do have Bruno now. We've got somebody who can unlock defences. That's why earlier on in the season, when we were coming up against the lesser teams, you know, like the West Hams or whoever it may be, we actually really struggled against them, and we didn't pick up a lot of points against the teams we should be beating. Now, the teams we shouldn't be beating, we had a lot of joy against, simply because we played a different, more defensive, counter-attacking style to sort of nullify them under Ole Gunnar. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens. Right then, guys, I'm just going to show you the formation, the couple of different formations and the tactics that I think maybe we're going to put out there, the predicted starting 11. Get your thoughts and opinions in about what you think may be the most likely, because I've got two different options here, and what you would change, of course, or what team you would want to put out, because I always want to hear from you guys what sort of team you think you can put out, and that goes for everybody watching this, not live either. Comment after this video is finished and put your predicted starting 11 in there. Be interesting to see what you guys think is going to happen. Right, okay, so the first one then is just, I don't think this is going to be the formation that we go with, because like I say, away from home against the big teams, if the earlier on in the season is anything to go by, I think we're going to see a slightly different formation than this. I think we're going to see that 3-5-2/5-3-2, whatever you want to call it, 5-2-1-2, whatever the hell you want to call that formation that we were playing earlier on in the season in the big games. I think we're going to see that one. But look at this. I hope you can see this okay. I mean, Martial up top, I think this is going to be the team if we play 4-2-3-1. Which is going to be Luke Shaw, who, in my opinion, has been sensational going into lockdown. He was absolutely brilliant. He deserves his place in the side. I was critical of him in the past, but look, if you put in a couple of months of consistent performances and show a great attitude and a great desire to improve and get your place in the side, then you deserve all the credit in the world to me. And I think he's done a brilliant job of doing that. So he's in there for me, ahead of Brandon Williams, who I think is amazing. But, you know, That's just my opinion at the moment. I think Shaw's in great form and deserves to go in there. Lindelof, Maguire, Aaron Wan-Bissaka, David De Gea in goal, Matic and Fred, Rashford on the left, Bruno Fernandes in the hole, Daniel James on the right, and Tony Martial up front. That's a possibility, but that's, you know, I don't think we're going to do that, to be honest. I think it's going to be a defensive formation, one that we've shown earlier on in the season worked well against the big sides. So I think it's going to be this one, which is very similar, but I think it allows Brandon Williams to feature alongside, you know, Luke Shaw's in there. We've seen him play on that centre-back, on the left centre-back role earlier on in the season very effectively. Williams, Lindelof, Maguire, Aaron Wan-Bissaka at the back there. And I like this midfield because it's a little bit of an unknown entity, but Fred and Pogba together sounds pretty damn tasty in this formation, because we've got, you know, the extra man back there who can sort of pop in and cover sometimes, you know, if Pogba wants to go forward a little bit. Fred's obviously going to be a more sort of buzzing defensive midfielder for us. Okay, he may not be the best defensive midfielder in the world, but he's actually pretty good, and he's just good at everything. He's not fantastic at anything, but he's just good all-round midfielder, you know, and he proved that before we finished football and had that little break. So Pogba, Fred in the centre of the park, Bruno Fernandes, and then Martial and Rashford up front. Now I think it sort of makes the most of the best players that we've got available to us right now. You could argue Dan James ahead, you know, over Brandon Williams, whatever, but Pogba in there with Fred, I do like the sound of it, especially when you've got Rashford, Martial, Bruno Fernandes in front of them. It sounds like there'd be a lot of opportunities to get at the opposition with those players like we were talking about earlier. So much pace, so much mobility up there, as long as they're getting the service, which if you look at Pogba, Fred and Bruno, they should be getting the freaking service up there, man. They should be getting the service from these guys. And if they don't, there's something freaking wrong, you know? But look, they haven't even played together yet. We all want to see how Pogba, Bruno do, Fred, you know. It's an interesting one, guys. Anyway, there's just a couple of theories. You may have seen it on my website anyway. I put this on a couple of days ago, a little preview and a predicted 11. So the website's flyandpigunited.com, by the way. Those are my opinions of what could happen. You know, it's kind of hearsay, but that's my predicted 11. Not the first one. The first one's just an option. This is my predicted 11 for the game. Bit crazy, but I do think that if you look at what Solskjaer did earlier on, I think he's going to go with the 5 at the back. That's my opinion, guys. What do you think? And how do you think it looks as a team? And what would you change about that? Hey, Ratface Bamiyang, he says, first time watching. How you doing, Ratface? Ferkian Armez says, nope, not for me, Sozpig. No worries, Griffo Chaz. Ferkian, which one? The formation 1 or formation 2? Griffo Chaz thinks you think you may be right, Alex. Alex, the Incarnator, says David De Gea, Aaron Wan-Bissaka, Maguire, Lindelof, Shaw, Williams, McTominay, Fred, Bruno, Rashford, Martial, 5-3-2. Yes. So you've gone for a similar sort of thing, apart from instead of McTominay, instead of Pogba, you've gone for McTominay. Another option, you see. We haven't even really talked much about the McTerminator. But yes, he's coming back, obviously come back into the side as well, just before lockdown from a long-term injury out. So the guy he's just a great player, isn't he? I loved that goal that he scored against City. That was just absolutely mangasmic. And he's a great player. He really fights for the side. And in all honesty, if I had to choose sort of who I like the most, who can play in that central midfield role in a 2 or whatever it may be, he's pretty much the one that I think's got the most sort of credibility about him in the role. Because he really fights for the side. He's good at a lot of stuff. He drives forward. Okay, you know, he's actually pretty mobile for somebody who's, you know, I think he's like 6'3", 6'4", so he's a tall lad. He's physical, you know. He's a good, proper, hungry Manchester United midfielder, and that is what we should be celebrating right now. Fred showed before lockdown how good he was as well. Matic, you know, okay, a few years ago he was great, but he is over the hill, man. And he is slow as fuck, man. And unless you charge him up to 100%, he's a bit freaking bang average, isn't he? But he has to get a lot of credit for how he played with Fred in United's midfield in a really important time before all this corona shite came around. So fair play to Matic. But yeah, and then Pogba, of course. Pogba's a fantastic player, but I'm just going to throw this out there for you now, guys. Like, I actually don't think that it's going to work out too well if we played Pogba and somebody else in the CDM or in the holding midfield roles with Bruno in front. I actually don't think it's going to work out that well, because I've seen previously Pogba lose his bottle in games, you know. He does an Arsenal melt job in the mind, you know. It's like he's got David Luiz living inside his head at times. No, it's not that bad. It's not that bad. But it's pretty bad sometimes because he just lets his head go, and I don't like to see that. And characteristically, you need to be a proper fighter. That's why I was saying McTominay's got the most credibility in that role for United, because he has that mentality. He has that character. You can see that by how he plays and how he displays the effort and how he busts along and gets back and how he does that. Whereas Pogba, sometimes he has been found wanting in terms of getting back into the defensive positions. He doesn't like that aspect of the game, I don't think. Fair play to him. If he's an attacking player, that's great. But we've got Bruno, who plays in that sort of attacking role. Now, if you look at that formation I put up, though, it does give maybe Pogba a bit of an opportunity to roam forward with Bruno, and you've got Fred, who's defensively stable to just sort of hold the fort down there. And then, of course, you have the wing-backs who can come and cover a little bit, and you've got 3 at the back to begin with. So you're all right. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know, guys. Pogba, to me, I think his best days are not at Manchester United, as sad as it is to say. I don't think it's ever going to work out for the guy. Now, we'll see if it happens. I don't want to piss any Pogba fans off here. Look, I want to give him a chance. I'm going to give him a chance. Hopefully, he can fight his way back into the side. But I don't think out of all of the midfielders we've got right now, McTominay, Fred, Matic, and Bruno, out of all the players that could sort of feasibly play, I don't think that he's got the best stake to the best claim to actually play in this United side. There's every single one of those players is ahead of him in the pecking order for me right now. Okay, he's the best player in the world, so everyone keeps saying. I saw some starting 11 the other day that somebody was distributing, I don't know, the world 11 right now, and Pogba was firmly in the centre of midfield there. So people obviously rate Pogba more highly than I do. And I guess the reason for that is going on history. Obviously, he's a World Cup winner. You can't deny that. But actually, having watched every single game that Pogba's played over the last 3 or 4 years for United, I have to say that half of the time, he's bang bloody average. Half the time, he's sensational. But half the time, maybe slightly less than half the time, he's sensational, actually. But a lot of the time, he's bang bloody average. And a lot of the time, he doesn't display the character of that midfielder that I want to be playing for Manchester United. That Roy Keane, or whoever it may be. Nicky Butt, a sort of proper, somebody who's prepared to do the dirty work as well. Now, I don't think that's necessarily anything against Pogba if his best position is a CAM, if his best position's playing in the hole. But like I say, we've got Bruno Fernandes for that, and I don't see him getting dislodged from that position. What do you guys think then? Ratface says Pogba was good against City last season. I remember that City game a couple of seasons ago as well, where we were down, was it 2-0 at half-time or whatever? Pogba literally put in one of the best performances I've seen from anybody in a United shirt, pretty much ever, in the second half. He was amazing against City, and we won the game. We came back, it was sensational. Pogba's got it. Pogba's got all the abilities in the world. I'm not saying he's not a good player. He has all of the technical abilities that you need to be a top player. He's physical, he's quick, he's tall, he's athletic, he's great on the ball, he's got fantastic vision, he can strike, he can take free kicks, he can shoot from distance, he can finish. He's actually got it all. He's actually a complete player, which is why it sounds even more David Moyes-esque, why I'm saying he should be last in the pecking order. But what's he actually done for us, though, over the course of a few seasons? And even this season, earlier on in the season, it's so frustrating with Paul Pogba. That's the thing. It's easy for it to get. Absence makes the heart grow fonder. No truer words can be said in terms of Paul Pogba, because I'm really licking my lips and looking forward to the prospect of watching him play for United again. But I tell you what, not long ago, he was in United's team having a bloody nightmare. Not long ago, and it's like at the start of the season. Remember that Chelsea game, the first game of the season, where we've absolutely ripped Frank Lampard's one a new one. His team a new one. We've done them. Was it 4-0? I can't remember now. But we've absolutely battered Chelsea first game of the season. And Pogba's done some amazing things in that game. He's pulled off a couple of world-class assists. He was sensational. But then, next game, against whoever it may be, doesn't even need to be a team. Let's just say the Dog and Duck, because it was just a shit Premier League side. He's bang bloody average and he goes missing. Now, the argument is, with better players around him, like Bruno Fernandes, to give him an outlet to help him, in terms of attacking, creating chances, whatever it may be. Yes, of course, the better players you have around you, the better you will play. I agree with that. So I hope that we can see Pogba do well, because he is a fantastic player. Wouldn't it be amazing, though, if we finally got that player? If we finally got that Paul Pogba that we thought we were getting, because he's got all the attributes that we want from a midfielder. And he seems to love the football club. He has hinted, he hinted in the summer, he was talking to a journalist, but, there's all sorts of stuff going on behind the scenes we don't know about, and he was saying maybe he'd be open to a move away to challenge for things and stuff like that. But, I think he does really love United. That's why he chose to come back to Manchester United. It's not just for the money. I'm sure he could get 300 grand a week anywhere at the time, really. But he wanted to come back to Manchester United, a place where, he started his career. So I think he does love the club, but at the same time, you've got to perform for the club. This is not a football club that should accept any sort of mediocrity and accept anything less than trying 100% out there, which I don't know if he does 100% of the time. I hope he can. I hope we see him busting the lungs in the centre in the midfield, because that is the engine room. You've got to really put in a shift in United's midfield, and we shouldn't be putting up with anything less than the most effort out there from all these guys. That should just be a given. But there you go. I actually like Pogba. I don't dislike Pogba. I think he's a nice guy. I think if I met Pogba, or if I was a professional footballer and I played for United, I would gravitate towards Paul Pogba in that dressing room. He's a friendly guy. He's personable. He seems like a laugh. He's got a nice smile. I gravitate towards people like that, honestly. But I'm just saying, as a player out there on the pitch for United. It's one of those. Yes, Alex says, I'm excited to see Pogba back in the team. I obviously am as well. I think it's going to be fantastic to see him back in the side. And I cannot wait to see what happens when we put him together with Bruno Fernandes. Because, as I was saying, sorry guys, let me get rid of this team thing here so we can see the live chat again. My bad. Let's face it, Bruno Fernandes and Paul Pogba, on paper, it sounds like possibly one of the best sort of partnerships you could make right now in the Premier League. Okay, De Bruyne is in maybe a different class right now in terms of Premier League midfielders, but Bruno was so ridiculously impressive in the spell we saw after we signed him. And Pogba, like I say, he's a World Cup winner. He drives the midfield for France. Excuse me. And he's obviously a talented footballer. And them together, they've both got truly sort of world-class credentials and abilities together. It could actually be amazing. It could just be an explosion out there, like a full-on mangasm. They could just be, it could be so amazing. If all the synapses are firing in and they can play together and, they've got the chemistry together and all this sort of thing, which obviously will come over time as well. But if they can just play together and Bruno can get the best out of Pogba and Pogba can get the best out of Bruno too, and, they can help each other and give each other an outlet and all that sort of stuff that you want from your teammates, then yes, it sounds absolutely bloody amazing, doesn't it? That's why I think that the formation that I put up is the one that I want to see the most, even though it's kind of, you could say, negative with the 5-3-2, the 5-3-2 formation. It would accommodate Pogba, it would accommodate Fred and Bruno, but at the same time, not all the defensive emphasis is actually on Fred or Pogba in this game, because you've got the three at the back, you've got the wing backs. Of course, they're going to have to defend and do defensive responsibilities throughout the game, but it's not like in a 4-2-3-1, say, where, if your forwards, if your wing backs are committed and you're on the counter and you've got to really get back and get into position and have that sort of that connection with your midfield partner also. It's not like that. So anyway, hey, Ruddy Can't Game. How you doing, Ruddy? Great to see you in here, pal. Fantastic to see you. Hope you're all good. JP in the house. Hey, JP, what's going on with Phil Jones, man? Phil Jones might be injured for this game, so I heard. I mean, that's a big blow. That's a big blow, JP, lad. Like, what's going on? What have you been doing to him? Sam Ingram says Giovanni Lo Celso is an injury doubt. Oh, okay, so that's a new one that I haven't heard. Giovanni Lo Celso potentially not going to feature. Also, Dele Alli. Let's talk about Dele Alli. He made some sort of insensitive joke about maybe it was racially insensitive. I think it was something racially insensitive. I can't even remember now, but I remember seeing it at the time. And he's got one game back or a ban from the FA. So he can't play in this game, which is good for us anyway. Because I think he scored last time out, didn't he? When they played against us. And he is a tit of a man. Yeah, nice one. Devil in the Details. I love the name, mate. How's it going, Devil in the Details? He says, no need to accommodate anyone. 4-2-3-1 or 4-3-3 will work just fine. Hey, yeah, that's another thing that we haven't talked about, actually. But I don't know if it's going to be the case for this game. Maybe Solskjaer will experiment with that in the future. And I think we'd all like to see a 4-3-3. And it would work as well. Like, if you played a 4-3-3, you can accommodate all of those players, like you say, Devil in the Details. So fair play to you. Some interesting details you put out there. Gungshi says, Phil dislocated his face while gurning. Yeah, that'll do it to you. Sometimes he holds it a bit too long. The wind changes. It's not good. JP comments, Phil Jones plays every game injured. Phil is a T1000. P1000. Philinator. Alex the Ring commentator says, in my opinion, on paper, a midfield three of McTominay, Bruno, Pogba is the top three best midfield in the Premier League. Yeah, I mean, that in all actuality, if we're going for the best players, not just the players who are in form, not just the players that maybe fit a system, but if we're actually talking about the best technical or the best players for Manchester United in that position, those three are the best midfielders that we've got. McTominay, Pogba, and Bruno. Those are the best three. So yes, That makes sense. All of those three on form, all of those three working in a system together, it would be fantastic to see. I fully agree with that. And I hope we do get to see that very, very soon. I still think Solskjaer may go with Matic and Fred in the centre of the park, but who knows? Probably not. Probably not when he's got McTominay and Pogba back. I actually don't know if Pogba's going to start, though. We'll see what Solskjaer does, but I'm just not sure if Pogba's going to start in this game. We shall see. Mr. Primot, how you doing, the Primot? He says, Dele Ali, Mark, how's it hanging big? Hey, it's not hanging too shabbily, my friend. I hope you're all good. Hey, by the way, everyone, thank you so much for joining me for this little late night preview for tomorrow's game. Please do us a favour if you're watching. Hit that thumbs up button. And if you're new to the channel, hit that subscribe button. Check out the website, flyandpigunited.com. It's a new Manchester United news source and football news source in general. Chuck a like on the Facebook page as well, Fly and Pig United, and on Twitter and Instagram too. Bunch of bloody heroes for joining us tonight. Look at you heroes that are in here. We've got Matty the Rushmeister. We've got Batman Night Fan. Big God Bob in his house. He says, yeah, I like that last team formation with the potential fluidity of the players, to be fair. Pig, I just want to see Bruno and Pogba play together. I'm pretty sure it will be magical. Big God Bob, is that the same person? Like, I know, look, I love your input on this channel, Big God Bob, but I'm just blown away by your comment there, my friend. Anyway, fantastic comment. Really sensible. That's the reason, because it's so bloody sensible. It's a sensible comment. That's the reason I'm saying that. But anyway, yeah, the 3-5-2 or the 5-3-2 formation with Brandon, with Luke Shaw accommodated as well, and with Pogba and Fred in the centre of the park with Bruno. All that formation in the game against Spurs. I just got a feeling Solskjaer's going to go with that. Hey, Weslin Cupido, what's going on? He says Fred might have a shout over Scott, in my opinion. Yeah, Fred was probably the best in-form midfielder that we had before lockdown. Like I was saying, it's not just about who's the best technically or who's the best on paper. I hate that freaking expression. Who's the best on paper? It's an amazing team on paper. Yeah, the game's not fucking played on paper. Scrunch that bit of paper up, set it on fire. It doesn't matter. That's why I'm talking about, Pogba earlier on in the season being bang average in a lot of games. Because that's true. On paper, he's the best midfielder that we got. It's not played on bloody paper. Same with bloody Wayne Gretzky. It's ice hockey. It's played on ice. They don't play the game on paper either. It looks like paper, but it's not. We play on grass. That's where the game's played. It does wind me up, though, because it's not just about who's the most technical gifted player. Fine example. Let me give you an example right now. That head and shoulders melt Jordan Henderson, who, in all honesty, apart from on a football pitch when he's playing against us, he seems like quite a humble dude. I'm going to be honest with you. He doesn't seem like a bad guy. But he's a tit of a man on the pitch for Liverpool. Why is he? Because he's passionate. He hates the opposition when he's on the pitch. He's got the right mentality. He's fighting for his team. He's not the most technically gifted player at all. He's actually pretty bang average. I remember a couple of seasons ago pretty much laughing at Jordan Henderson's play a lot of the time. But come on, if he's not cemented himself as a solid cog in the centre of midfield of Liverpool's midfield, then we'd all be lying. And that's a fine example, because it's not just about technical abilities, who can play the best on paper. It's about who can actually play the best out on the pitch, who's good in a team, who's got the right mentality, who can drive and lead a team, who can be a great influence in the team. These are the positive things that we need from players. So there you go. That's my opinion. DJ Disco Dave, how you doing? He says watch-alongs and post-match analysis are back. Can't wait. Thank you so much for that, DJ Disco Dave. I cannot wait either. It was so fun doing the watch-along with you guys yesterday. Not only because we saw the Gouda smell all over the place, but also because it was just great to be back talking about football, commentating on the football, watching the football live, bantering with the Bacon Brigade. It was just sensational stuff. So really appreciate everybody that was along for the ride in that Arsenal game. And make sure you are here on the channel tomorrow night for the game. 8:15 p.m. kickoff, but we'll be starting about 7:45, about half an hour or so, maybe 7:30, somewhere around there, to talk about United a little bit more in the build-up to this game. So, circle it in your diary. I'm sure you'll all be watching it anyway. It's an amazing spectacle to come back to, of course. Spurs versus United, a huge game. I'm going with the 2-1, guys. I know I've already said this, but I'm just reminding you for anybody that's come in here. I think 2-1. I think United have got the ability to get the job done. But look, anything could happen in this game. The form goes out the window because of the break that all these teams have had. They've had a lot of players come back from injury. So have we. Who's going to perform best? Who's going to be match sharp to a degree? Nobody will be really. So we'll see what happens. It's going to be an interesting game. But it's, in my opinion, like I said, flip of the coin. But I still think United have got the ability to do the job. Nice one. G Wolf United says, I got a dilemma, Pig. Either watch the football or quiz with the family. Which one would you choose? Are you taking the piss, G Wolf? Are you taking the piss, mate? Tell those bunch of melters to do one until the football's over. No, I'm sorry, they're not melters. I'm joking. I just called G Wolf's family a bunch of melters. I apologise. Your family's great. But look, the point I'm making is, you guys have Manchester United versus Spurs, first game back for United after lockdown, and they're making you do a Ponzi quiz. Gee, Wolf lad. Nah, mate. No. Not happening, my friend. Tell him the pig's put his foot down. Or put his hoof down or whatever. No, mate. That's not happening. You've got to watch the game. Hey, Roddy Can't Game, thank you very much, son. He says, get GTA 5 for Xbox, Pig. Hey, thank you so much for your super chat there, Roddy, my friend. GTA 5 for Xbox. I've already got it. I've already got GTA 5 on Xbox. I don't play it because I've also got GTA 5 on the PC. By the way, I didn't know I had that. I went on there the other day. I must have got GTA 5 when it was on some sale or something ages ago because I got it on my Xbox. I went on there to see if I could play with my character from the PC version and I couldn't. So I just thought, I sod that. But anyway, legends, guys, absolute legends. Thank you to each and every one of you who's tuning in again right now. Ruddy, thank you very much for that. Sammy Hopkins, what a man, the designer of the website. Once again, check it out, flyandpigunited.com. Thank you, Sam. Ruddy Can't Game says, I'm starting a petition. What's that a petition about? Ted Zavana says, Moyes was an average manager, came to United and failed. LVG and Mourinho, very good managers, also failed. What do you think is causing their demise? I have high hopes for Solskjaer, but fear the same. I think a large part of it is just down to the nature of the job. Like, it's such a beast of a job, this one. It's one of the most difficult, unforgiving jobs because there's so much pressure right from the off, really. As soon as you come in, if you start losing, the fans really, everybody gets on your back. The owners get on your back. They sacked Moyes after 8 months and he was supposed to be this manager that Sir Alex said to, stick by your new manager and all this. And we have chopped and changed a little bit over the years, not as much as some of the other clubs, but also it's just a pressure cooker of a job. You've got to get it right, and if you don't get it right, you're going to be gone at some point. And it's a difficult job to have because United have got these massive standards and expectations set by people like Sir Alex Ferguson and Matt Busby over the years. We have this expectation, we have this arrogance pretty much that we should be up there challenging. And maybe it is an arrogance. I certainly feel that arrogance because I grew up, watching the Manchester United in the 90s and the early and the 2000s, where we've just been absolutely battering fools for that whole entire period of time and winning everything all the time, pretty much, So we have that belief that we should be up there challenging. And I think that's what separates us with teams like Tottenham. Because I don't think Tottenham, even though they've got the squad right now, even though they've got the financial ability to compete, and they're up there, in the right sort of area of the table, competing year in, year out near enough now, they just don't have that same mentality. Like, if they get fourth, they're pretty happy with that. Now, at the moment, look, in terms of the long picture where we are, fourth this season would be actually really good. But next season I wouldn't be happy with fourth. And the season after that I wouldn't be happy with fourth. Because United should be a team that's trying to win the league every single season. More importantly than anything else. And of course challenge on all fronts and win the Champions League and those other aims and ambitions as well. But the main thing, we should be trying to win the league. And the fact that we're not winning the league, the fact that we're not even challenging for the league over the last 7 years, it sickens me to my very core. And I'm sure it does a lot of you as well. And that's the arrogance that I'm talking about. We don't accept second best at United. We might be given second best. Hell, we might be given third best. We've been given Moisey and LVG and the Glazers. We've definitely been given some bloody shite over the last 7 years, for sure. But we're not happy with that. We're not content with that. We want to improve. We want better. Whereas Spurs fans, man, they're just happy to be at the bloody party, They're just happy you invited them round for the barbecue, you know what I mean? Like, they weren't doing nothing better. They're happy you called, Laszlo Williams says, "What time is the game?" Laszlo, great name. I love the name Laszlo. I don't know why. I think it's when I used to play GTA Vice City. There's a character called Laszlo in there. But anyway, he says, "What time is the game?" It's on at 8:15 p.m. UK time. So tomorrow night, Friday night, 8:15 p.m. UK time is the kickoff for the game. Get in there, my son. Manchester United are back. The Premier League is well underway again. We're going to freaking get in the top 4, top 5, whatever it is, to qualify for the Champions League this year. Arsenal melted yesterday. We're going to batter up Jose Mourinho's band of Merry Maltinios tomorrow. Get in there. Oh, I can't wait for it. I'm absolutely buzzing. Cinnamon Pie says, "I'm a Spurs fan. I think it will be 1-1. Hey, yeah, I mean, actually, in all honesty, I know I said 2-1, and that is my prediction for the game, but I do think it's going to be a bit of a drab-type game. It might be a draw, you know. I think it could be a 0-0 draw. Ooh, what a question, Eric Schoon. He says, "What would be your combined 11? That's a great question. And just quickly off the top of my head, I think, David De Gea is slightly better ahead of Hugo Lloris, in my opinion, in terms of ability. So I'm going to go with David De Gea. Basically, United's back four, maybe I would go with, instead of Lindelof, I'd probably go maybe Alderweireld. Yeah, I'd probably go with that, actually. I think basically United's back line with Alderweireld in there. And then the midfield, I guess you have to go with Bruno Fernandes, Pogba in terms of abilities we're talking about here again, and I don't know, maybe Lo Celso's looked pretty damn good actually for Spurs, not bad. I pretty much go with United's midfield again. I know that's kind of ridiculous because I was saying Spurs maybe have a stronger starting 11 than United in some ways, but I don't know if they do that much. And then I'd have to go with, you'd have to have Son Heung-min. You'd have to. He's one of the best players in the league. You'd have to have him, but who do you have him instead of? It's a bloody difficult one, this. Harry Kane's definitely in there too. Like, Harry Kane is the striker. Sorry, Tony Martial, I'm sorry. But the number 9 position goes to Harry Kane in a combined 11, 100%. Dan James, see you later, because we're going to have to accommodate Son Heung-min somewhere. And then we're going to have Rashford on the left. So that's it. I think that's an 11. I don't know. But thank you very much for the question. Yeah, Gungshi says Son should be in there. I fully agree. So I think basically United's team, apart from maybe Son, Kane, and yes, like I was saying, I'm not so convinced about Lindelof. But, it's not that bad. Hey, Laszlo, he says, shout out from Cape Town. Spot on, mate. Thank you very much for watching from Cape Town, mate. I don't know if I'm talking right, but it's kind of a little bit like this accent, isn't it? Talking like from South Africa, mate. And I used to work in a diamond mine, over in Durban. I don't know, sorry, I screwed that up. I didn't mean to cause offence. Anyway, Simon Bennett says, Brandon Williams, 2-footer on Kane, please. Oh, Brandon Williams, yeah, he's a great young talent, isn't he? And I think if we do go with that 5-3-2, then that's going to accommodate him, of course. Griffo Chasm says, I'm off ski. See you later, Griffo. Thank you for all the work you've been doing on the website. Go over to flyandpigunited.com and read some of Griffo Chas's articles. They're fantastic. Thank you so much. Also, if you want to read a bit more further analysis of a Tottenham versus Manchester United preview, you can go over to the website and check out my preview that I wrote about the game with just some more points, a bit more information. A lot of the stuff we covered in this video, but some other stuff which you can read up on next time you're on the toilet. Eric Shun says, Son, Rashi, Kane. Yeah, I mean, that's got to be the forward three, really. It's got to be. Son, Rashi, Kane. It has to be. My days, that sounds amazing, doesn't it? In all honesty, out of all the players in the league, Son is probably the player that I would want most at United. And the reason I say that, it's De Bruyne is amazing, but he's plays for City. He's a City scummer now. Spurs, it's almost acceptable. They've always sort of been a feeder club for us. Whether it's Carrick or Berbers or, come on. We get the better of Spurs, don't we? But we just don't traditionally trade a lot between the likes of City and stuff like that. So I would go with that. Ruddy Can't Game says Ericsson in the middle. Well, Ericsson's no longer a Spurs player, is he, Ruddy? He's gone. He went. He did one to Inter. Yeah, that's right, Matty Rush says Ericsson's at Inter, Rudders. Yeah, it has been a long time out, to be fair, though. Ericsson says Pig hasn't realised. What haven't I realised? Has the video got, have I melted the stream or something? Big God Bob says, just lost a South African subscriber. Oh, well, you know, you win some, you lose some. But you live. You live to fight another day. No, it's great to have, I didn't say anything bad anyway, but it's great to have the lad from South Africa in here. Roddy Khan Game says, I forgot Ericsson was not there anymore. Yeah, I know, it's difficult. Laszlo says, top accent, brew. Top accent, brew. Yeah, I'm basing this basically solely on, like, Blood Diamond, you know, with Leonardo DiCaprio, which is a good movie, actually, if you've ever seen it. I feel like going for a proper mind melt later on, actually, and just watching a crazy film. I think I'm going to rewatch Inception later, you know, the Christopher Nolan movie, because I haven't seen that for years. Last time I watched that, or the only time I watched it, it melted my brain, but I really enjoyed it. I feel like watching something nutty like that tonight. What are you guys going to watch? Nice one. Hey, everyone, thank you so much for tuning in this evening. I don't know how long we've been going for. 55 minutes? You taking the piss? That is mad. It feels like I've been going for 20 minutes. That is awesome. Anyway, guys, do us a favour and hit that like button. We might as well stay on here for an hour. So if you want to ask me anything else for the last few minutes of this preview, then please do. And I hope you've just enjoyed hearing me talk COD for the last 55 minutes about United and Spurs tomorrow. Come on, United. We're going to smash up Jose Mourinho's Tottenham hot shits. I truly believe that. First time that we've actually played at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. Not that it really matters. And this is another thing. It's interesting, isn't it? Because there's no crowd. There's nobody in attendance. So, you know, is that an advantage for United? Because we'd be going to an away ground where they'd have more of the support, and obviously they call it the 12th man. You can give them a boost. I don't know. I don't think it makes that much difference, actually. But, yeah. Oh, hang on a second. Sorry, I missed these. What a bloody bunch of heroes. Hang on a sec, guys. Sorry, I've got a couple of things to read out here. Oh, Gungshi, mate. Thank you so much, Gungers, for the PayPal he's just sent over here. You absolute hero. Sorry, Gungers, I missed that. That was obviously a while ago. He comments, bring on Jose's melt jobs. Pogba and Bruno will provide assists, and Rashi and Martial will score. Get in there, my son. Feeling very positive with that one. Thank you so much for the support there, Gungers. And yeah, man, I mean, look, Pogba and Bruno, if he decides to play Pogba, it sounds amazing on paper. Like, we've gone over this, and I hope that you're right. I hope that it's just assists galore. On paper, it sounds like they should provide you with assists galore. Do we have the right man to go along with them in a defensive position, whether it's Fred, Matic, or McTominay? Don't know. But we'll see. But yeah, thank you so much for that, guys. I hope it's going to be an amazing game. Sorry, I'm drinking Pepsi tonight. I'm getting a little bit of gaseous clay on the go. Getting a bit gaseous clay over here. Byron Stevens. Hey, Byron, how you doing? Yes. Byron Stevens says, hi, Pig, you absolute legend. Buzzing for tomorrow. Bring it on. Oh, big time, Byron. And it's good to see you around. He says, you know, he's buzzing. Buzzing is the word. Don't think I've been looking forward to a football game for such a long time, especially a football game that isn't like a Champions League final or a really important, decisive game, you know, or a you know, World Cup final, or, well, not a World Cup final, because England's never bloody got in the World Cup final since I've been alive, but you know what I mean. Just a normal league game. There's never been so much excitement and anticipation leading up to a football game like this for me, ever. So I'm really looking forward to it. I hope it's not an anticlimax. You know, I hope it's not an anti-mangasm. Oh, nobody wants an anti-mangasm, no. We don't want that. We want a full-on mangasm. We want to be you know, tantric mangasm. We want to be mantric. We don't want to have any issues tomorrow, is what I'm saying. It would be a big anticlimax if United came back after all this time. Like Arsenal fans, they must just be hating this, because crikey, they've waited all this time and then there's a horrible defeat like that. And it happens, and it's to be expected away at City. I get it. They shouldn't be too disheartened, actually, because other than the fact that David Luiz had a complete nightmare, they were sort of in the game, I suppose. They never had a shot throughout the whole 101 minutes of the game, though, did they? But they still should have maybe done a bit better without the calamities from David Luiz, is what I'm saying. So we don't want that same sort of anticlimax. We need it to be a decent performance from United. Now, I'm not saying we're going to go there and get the win, and I'm not saying that needs to be the case, but like I said at the top of the video, it needs to be a good performance. It needs to be positive, and we need to give a good account of ourselves. And as long as we do that, I will actually be happy regardless of the result. because it's the first game back. But it's so important, though, this game. Let's not pretend that it is a results industry. We do need to get results. We do need to pick up points. Would, say, a point away at Spurs be the worst result? It actually wouldn't, no. But we are in the hunt for those top 4 or top 5 spaces right now. There's teams that will be breathing down our neck, and we're going to have to keep pace, and we're going to have to really turn it on. Now, one thing that I do really like about Manchester United's run-in is that we've actually probably got one of the easiest run-ins, I think, between now and the end of the season. If you look at the fixtures we've got left, I mean, let me just get them up, actually, because, and just explain, read them out here, because I think it's actually a really good run-in that United have got. So let me just go through it. So, of course, we've got Spurs, and then after that in the Premier League, these are just Premier League, by the way, we have Sheffield United, and we're at home on the 24th of June, Wednesday the 24th of June. Then Tuesday the 30th, we have Brighton and Hove Albion, we're away from home. So, look, those 2 games, they're absolutely winnable. Sheffield United have been a great side this season. I expect that's going to be difficult, but we are at home. I'd expect us to win. Away at Brighton, same deal. I would expect us to win that. And then, of course, after that, we've got Bournemouth. We're at home on the 4th of July on Independence Day. We've got AFC Bournemouth, and we're at home, so we should batter them. They're having a nightmare season. And then after that, we're away at Aston Villa. We should batter them. But should is another thing. Should, and actually doing it, is another different thing, because last time out when we played Aston Villa, Jack Grealish ran the show, didn't he? And caused us all sorts of bloody issues. So look, anything can happen, but look at our fixtures is what I'm saying. Next fixture, Southampton at home, the 13th of July. Next fixture, Crystal Palace away, the 15th of July. 2 days in between that game. Saturday the 18th of July, then we've got West Ham, and we're at home. And then we're away at Leicester City, right? So that's it. Do you know what I mean? That's the run-in. I mean, come on. We don't have any of the big sides to navigate. If we don't actually finish in the top 5 spaces this season now, bearing in mind the fixtures we've got between now and the end of the season, that's why I'm saying a point against Spurs, not a bad result, really. But if we don't finish in those top 5 spaces, based on those fixtures and results we've got left, then we've actually had a nightmare. And Solskjaer's had a nightmare, to be honest, if he doesn't get top 5 now, because of where we are and the teams that we've got. What do you guys think? Primot with a prediction. He says 3-0, good guys. Rashi 1, Anthony Martial 2. David De Gea with a blinder between the sticks. Come on, United. Yes, David De Gea, just a shout out to him. He was looking, maybe over the last season or so, not quite up to the standard that he has shown over previous seasons for United. But remember that performance that he had against Spurs? Was it last year, maybe the year before, where we won 1-0, and it was like, what? How did he pull off such a number of saves to keep us in that game? Not keep us in the game, but win the game for us. He's an incredible keeper, and he likes playing against Spurs. So yeah, shout out David De Gea. Aaron Homeyard says United to win, of course. I think 2-1 to Man U. Good shout there, Aaron. Yes, same with me. Michael Blake, how you doing? Hey, great to see you, my friend. He says 4-2 to United. I've been great, Michael Blake. Yeah, not too shabba-labba at all. Big God Bob, that's more like it, Big God Bob. That's the sort of comment I've got to expect. No, nice one. I really enjoyed your sensible comment earlier there, Big God Bob, and I hope you're good. Eric Shun says, did you hear the Europa League will be completed the next month over 2 weeks? Yes, son! Oh, come on, my son! It's going to be a mangasmic summer festival of football, everybody. Okay, we don't have the Euros, but we've got the end of the Premier League coming thick and fast. Then we've got the Europa League. Look at this. So the fixtures are in August. So it's August the 5th. Wednesday the 5th of August, we played Last Glynns in the second leg of the round of 16, where we are 5-0 up on aggregate. Oh, come on, my son! And then after that, of course, the rest of the fixtures are going to be completed in August, I think, for the Europa League and the Champions League. So it's going to be awesome. We've got full-on football, and hopefully the season just carries on after that, the new season. There might be a little break, but if they're not going to disrupt the next season that much, and if they are indeed going to host the Euro 2021 Summer Football Championship, then what needs to happen? Well, they need to pretty much start the season when they were supposed to start the season anyway. Either in August, maybe you could start of September, but, you've got to start it pretty sharpish. So this is just going to be pure football. Football. It's going to be loads of football. And it's live, says Michael Blake. Yeah. Hey, Gungshi, thank you so much for getting in here tonight. You're a hero. He says, gotta go, pig lads. And I said, see you tomorrow. See you tomorrow, Gungshi, mate. Have a great day. Have a great sleep. We'll catch up with you then. Hopefully it'll be... while we are watching Manchester United, the Red Devils, tear apart the lowly Tottenham Hotspur at their own new gashly named stadium. Okay then, Gungers, you have a bloody good one. Bye, mate. Good to see you. Fantastic legend you are. JP says, see you tomorrow, legends. Look forward to the game with you lot later, pig. Keep it, Phil, and tickle that gooch button. Thank you so much, JP. Yeah, do us a favour, lads and lasses. Smash that thumbs up button if you haven't already done so. It definitely helps us out. And also subscribe to the channel. If you're not subscribed, you can follow us on social media at Mr. Flying Pig HD for me, and also Flying Pig United on Facebook. And the website is flyingpigunited.com. So go over there, check it out. It's a Manchester United news source that's regularly updated, so check it out. There's a preview on there for the Spurs game. Everybody, I think I'm going to wrap it up to you, bloody heroes. Unless some of you just got quickly something you want to ask me. I'm going to wrap it up. But yeah, Ruddy says they should start the next season in September. There may be a lot of injuries. Yeah, it's a fair point. They might have to do some sort of substitute thing again, with the 5 substitutes like we've seen. Martin McGrath says, as an Arsenal fan, I don't care who wins tomorrow between United and Spurs. Surely, in a way, though. Surely, in a way. I know what you're saying. But surely you'd rather, out of the two, you'd rather Man United win, wouldn't you? Because look, Arsenal, the Gooners, they're your arch rivals. But I guess a draw might be the best result for you, Martin. I'm not sure. Hey, thank you for that, Sadek Rahman. Yes, mate, so happy that it's back. Can't wait for the game tomorrow. Furkihan says, Timo to Chelsea. Yeah, let's just talk about that quickly then. You've brought up a great point, Furkihan. Thank you so much. Timo Werner signed for Chelsea for somewhere in the region of, what, £45 million, is it? Or euros? A ridiculously small fee for a player of that calibre, with the potential that he's got, the age that he is, the international that he is. It is a bloody bargain signing for Chelsea. They have pulled off an absolute coup with that one, haven't they? All credit to Chelsea and Lampard and Abramovich and all those bloody guys over at Chelsea. They've done it. They signed the man, but they've actually paid like a really small amount of money for him, for a player of that calibre. So it's a brilliant signing, and you've got to watch out for Chelsea now. You honestly do. Like, Lampard's actually shown this season alone that he's actually got some pretty good acumen for being a manager. He's done some good things. He's brought some youth on really well. He's given good opportunities to young players, and he's decided, maybe Tammy Abraham's not quite enough up there for us this season for the remainder and going forward. So what has he done? He's bought one of the best strikers that's available to him right now. And what I mean by that is, like, yeah, okay, the Lewandowskis and, there's better strikers in the world, but Werner is young. He's getting better. In a few years' time, he will be one of those best strikers in the world. You can just see it with how he plays and how he's progressing and the level of the player he already is. So the stats don't lie. Can he do it in the Premier League? I think that he can, based on some of the games that I've seen from him and his style, Would he score as many goals? Who knows? I mean, Chelsea are a good team. We'll see what happens. But I think it's a really good signing, and I'm a bit gutted that Manchester United didn't even go in for him at all. Now, I know we got Odi and Ighalo on loan, but it's only a temporary fix, that one. And we've got Tony Martial up there. He's scored 11 goals in 22 games, I think it is, in the league this season, maybe slightly more than that in terms of the appearances. But he's done good, and it's only his first season at number 9. But he's not scoring the high numbers like a lot of these other strikers are, like a Timo Werner. But then again, he's in the Premier League, in a Manchester United side that's still finding its feet effectively and still needed some help, and still we're lacking a couple of players even now, really, to be the top side that we should be. So it's all a learning process for this United side. That's what I think is a good reason why United are going to be very good in a few years' time, even if we don't sign anybody. Because all of our players are young at the moment. Well, not all of them, but a lot of them are young, and they're just getting better. People like Rashford in a couple of years' time, he's going to be unreal. People like Greenwood, Brandon Williams, Aaron Wan-Bissaka, they're only getting better. So we're in a sick position, lads and lasses. We just need to add a couple more legends in. Right then, guys, I'm gonna wrap this video up then, everybody. It's been a lot of fun. Thank you very much for joining me. We've been rambling on for over an hour now. Fair play to all you legends for tuning in. KM Ali says it was 50 million euros. Fair enough. I mean, that's a steal, isn't it, for Timo Werner? They've done a great job getting him over the line. Matt Russ says Bellingham to Dortmund in doubt. Can't offer his buyout clause of 30 million. Interesting. You see, Jude Bellingham, he's another option that we could go for at United. What is he, 16 years of age? He's a great one for the future. But United could do with somebody that can do it right now. And that's why I think it's such a good signing for Chelsea, because not only is it one for the future also, because he's only 24, but he can do it right now. And whereas Jude Bellingham, it's not like Jude Bellingham's going to get in there ahead of Martial or Odeon or even Greenwood, I don't think, at the striker position. So it's not really a signing that actually inspires me that much. But I think it could be a good signing for the future. The COP 94, yes, it's going good, my friend. When's the next FIFA stream? The next FIFA stream will be Saturday night, my friend. Saturday night will be the next FIFA stream. Also, I'm looking at doing some GTA streams on the gaming channel between now and then also. So keep a lookout. Subscribe to the gaming channel as well. Flying Pig Gaming if you're not also already. Yeah, Sadak says our board is looking to save money for themselves in terms of giving the Glazers dividends. My friend, I think, there's a lot to do with the Glazers ownership, the lack of investment maybe in some areas that we've had. Recently, we have spent a bit of money. In fact, over the whole last however many years since we've been struggling, we have actually spent quite a lot of money. It's just not been spent well. Players like Timo Werner for 45 million or 50 million euros, that is spending money well. Already we can say that's a great signing because it's a good price to pay for such a good player. Right, anyway, guys, I'm going to wrap it up. Hey, sorry, Wallace Montcroy Stewart's in the house. Thank you, Ice Queen Gaming. See you tomorrow too. Have a great day. Ryan Berberspin, you're a hero. KMR Lee, likewise. DJ Disco Dave, absolutely. Batman, Night Fan. Yes, I am DJ Disco Dave, mate. Yes, I am, yep. Big God Bob says, notorious PIG for life. Thank you very much for that. 413 Suspended says, when is the match starting? It's at 8:15 p.m. tomorrow. That's UK time, British summer time, whatever. UK time, 8:15 p.m. Eric Shun says, do you think we'll get Sancho? Yeah, I hope so. I think we've got more right to him than anyone else. What I mean by that is he's, we need him more than anyone else. And he would play more for us than anyone else, I think. So I think it fits. Nice one, everybody. Matty the Rushmeister, Cop 94, Aaron Homeyard, Alex Capello, Sadek Rahman, Asked1234 says starting 11 ? You'll have to go back and video. Actually, I'll just pop it up right now quickly. Yeah, just to end on, just to show you, my friend. This is what I think is the predicted starting 11 that Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is going to go with. No, sorry, that's not the one. Sorry, guys, it's this one. It's this one. This is the one that I think he is going to go with, which is the 5-3-2 variation, or the 5-2-1-2, whatever you want to call it. Brandon Williams, Luke Shaw accommodated there, Lindelof, Maguire, Aaron Wan-Bissaka, David De Gea in goal, of course, Fred and Pogba, Bruno Fernandes, and Martial and Rashford, up top. That's what I think. What do you guys think? Come back after this video is finished and get your starting 11s in. Get your score predictions in. 2-1, I'm going to United. Come on, United. We're going to smash up Jose's Tottenham melt bags. I can feed it in my piggy loins. Right. Heroes, everyone. Thank you so much for watching this stream tonight. Tune in tomorrow night, starting about half an hour or so before kickoff, where we will tune in and watch the mighty Manchester United come back after this period of lockdown to smash up Tottenham in their own backyard. Hopefully. Let's find out. It's going to be a roller coaster. Right, guys, take it easy. Have a good one. Do us a favor. Hit that like button if you haven't done so. Smash that like. And do tune in tomorrow. Subscribe to the channel if you're new. And follow all the social medias and all that stuff like that. There's a lot of links in the description. Check it out. Check out that website, flyingpigunited.com. Right, that's it from me. Thanks for listening to me ramble for the best part of the length of a football match. You heroes. That's the preview done. Come on, United. Football is back. United are back. And hopefully Spurs and Mourinho's misery will be back too. Right, guys, take it easy. Have a great evening. Have a great sleep. Have a great day tomorrow. Come on, the game's on tomorrow. We're going to do them. We're going to freaking do them. So don't miss it. And like G-Wolf was saying, he's potentially got to do a family quiz. Nah, mate. You're watching the game, G-Wolf. You cannot miss this game. Don't miss it. All right, then, legends. See you later. Have a great one. This is the pig. Catch you tomorrow. What the hell happened there? I don't know. Sorry, I was just having a melt there with the buttons. This is just the end credit, Patreon credits. By the way, I think I've had a mare, and last time when I updated this, right, because I update this, well, I'm supposed to update it weekly, but last time I updated it, I think I had a mare, because I'm pretty sure that there's somebody on there who, somebody not on there, who should be on there. I just want to apologise to Sam Hopkins, like the website designer that we've got. I think Sam Hopkins is meant to be on here, and I've just had a fat mare. So shout out to Sam Hopkins. Also shout out to Tom Jackson, who's not yet been added to this list. But this is the Patreon credits, to say thank you to everybody for, to basically who supports the show on Patreon. There's a link in the description if you want to do that. And also, Tier 2 channel members appear on this list also. But thank you to everybody that's watched this tonight. Have a great evening. I'll see you tomorrow for the watch along. Come on, United!